Hello, my wonderful Ravenettes. It's Raven here. Today we are going to a website titled Quora instead of Reddit. Quora is a shitty Reddit. That's the only way I'm going to say it. It's like Reddit, but it's not at the same time, if that makes any sense. So what people do is they ask questions and people answer them. And Quora is, let me just say this, it's more politically correct than YouTube is trying to be. And I'm not making that shit up. They force you to use your real name, so you can't say anything. So that way, if you say anything that they deem controversial, everybody knows that it was you. But if you have a common name, thank God, because that could be any person with that name. Okay, so I'm just gonna read to you guys the answers I have given on questions that have been asked. And also, shout out to Ruben Rock. Go check out his channel after watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. And I'm not going to read anything controversial. I want this to be funny. I want this to be comedic. I am keeping the silent bits in as much as I'll cut them out as much as I can. I make no guarantees. So have you ever been legit scared playing a video game? Yes, and that was playing BioShock, and the doctor appeared right behind me in the dentist's office. Somebody asked, what are some good indie games for the PC? I said, Slime Rancher. It's cute, fun, and you can almost never get angry playing it, especially on casual mode. No threat of those awful tars. What's more adorable than vacuuming up slimes and shooting them out of your gun while they shout, "Whee!" Just don't fall into the slime sea or the sand sea. Subnautica. If you have an absolute fear of the ocean and anything that lurks in it, then prepare to wet your pants as you are stranded in an alien ocean where everything wants to eat you. The plot runs smoothly, however it takes a long time to make any progress in the game, so cheat codes are sadly needed. Fran Bow. If you want a good psychological point-and-click adventure game, I would go with Fran Bow by Kill Monday Games. The story follows a little girl named Fran Bow and her adventures in a terrifying world. Prepare for major feels at the ending, though. If you are disturbed by the sight of lots of pseudo-3D blood and giant insects, I recommend staying away from this game. For those who enjoy Year Walk. For those who enjoy folklore and folktales mixed with horror, this is a game you'll most definitely want to play. This game shows many folkloric creatures that show up in Slavic, Finnish, and Swedish folklore. The game features the Huldra, Brook Horse, Myling, and the Night Raven, or Nachtraven, which is my username. None of these creatures are made up, but are accurate in regards to folklore and folktales behind them. Bendy and the Ink Machine, a completely unique game that the plot has never been used by any other game before. Chapter 5 is a bit of a letdown, so much potential wasted. Chapter 3 is mostly a gathering quest. It was well worth the money I spent on it, though. Go buy it! If you like jump scares mixed with early Steamboat Willie style of animation, then this is one game you do not want to miss. And finally, BioShock Remastered. This game is just wow. The idea itself is so unique, and the plot is so smooth and flowing. Not to mention how much fun it is for a first-person shooter game. There are many areas to explore throughout the game. I don't want to ruin the plot or excitement for everyone, but I will say this. It's a utopian city underwater with themes very similar to those of Ayn Rand. What's a great game most people have never heard about? Oh my word, there's so many to list. But from personal experience, I would have to say Bendy and the Ink Machine, due to all the lore as well as hard work put into it. Because I'm gonna get so much hate for saying this, but FNAF sucks. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like being jump scared. And at least Bendy and the Ink Machine has a plot that you can somewhat follow. Whereas FNAF is just a clusterfuck of theories and everything. I mean, MatPat has done more than 26 videos, I think, just going over the lore and potential lore and everything. And a lot of his videos are already obsolete because of the person who made the games releasing another game and, throwing those theories out. So Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of FNAF. Mm, it just it's just not my cup of tea. Not my kind of gameplay. Nothing against the producer, nothing against the game. I just don't like it. Hmm. What is the best realistic way to ask someone to prom? Only BioShock fans will get this. Name, would you kindly come with me to prom? What are the best ways to convince a teenager that God exists? Don't bother. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Why don't people see their own hypocrisy? As my history professor Eric Sack said it best, it's like halitosis. Everyone but you has it, or so you think. What do I do when somebody who doesn't know I'm Jewish makes an anti Semitic comment to me? Laugh it off and move on with your life. Why are people so mean to Jehovah's Witnesses believers when they come to the door? They waste my time, my patience, and my life by talking to them when I make it quite clear I'm not interested. These people do not take no for an answer. If your life had a soundtrack, what are three songs that would definitely appear on the album? I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, It's My Life by Bon Jovi, and Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift. Uh, what are your thoughts on parents who give their children hard to spell or contentious names? Please, for your children's sake and their teachers, friends, peers, coworkers, bosses, etc., choose a name that is easy to spell or speak in your language. Don't have your first kid's name be something like Squire Sebastian Senator, which is an actual name that somebody wanted to name their kid. And somebody asked, I'm not going to bother reading that. Why do people like to take their time at the farmer's market looking when other family members of their family may not like it? It builds character. Sorry for the sirens. Again, live next to a fire station. Nothing I can do. I am 19 and I always had this dream in need of discovering something like a formula for the cause of myopia. Am I being ridiculous? Can a PhD help me achieve this dream? This is what I said. Hey, they told the Wright brothers that flying was impossible, yet they did it, and more than 100 years later, we have jumbo jets flying high in the sky. They said that going to space was impossible, yet we did it. Heck, we even landed on the moon. We've made it to the bottom of our own oceans, yet we have explored less than half of it. It used to be that illnesses like tuberculosis and the Black Death were fatal, yet now we have vaccines for it. What I'm trying to say is that if you have the will, the drive, and the passion behind it, you can, in my mind, achieve it. How should you react when your 7-year-old daughter announces that she wants to be a call girl, even though she really means a telephone operator? I would laugh my ass off and ask her where she learned that word from. What is a gorilla afraid of? A bigger, meaner, and stronger gorilla. Why is it the parent's fault when a child fails, but yet God can't take responsibility for his own actions? Free will. What is the most dangerous hand tool commonly found in people's homes? A kitchen knife. My son is a computer whiz, yet his teacher makes him solve problems the long way, even though my son knows shortcuts. What should I do? Work smarter, not harder. What is the biggest problem of being a woman in today's society? Fourth wave feminists, which aren't really feminists at all, but basically female incels. What song always and instantly makes you cry? Cliffs of Gallipoli by Sabaton, which it does. Oh my god, that song is so beautiful. Always makes me cry. Why is it so difficult for students with ADHD to get work finished? Because our minds go a million miles a minute. We cannot focus on one task for long periods of time before we get bored. What are your thoughts on this congressman proposing a permanent daylight savings time? It's not going to change the fact that in the fall and winter it gets darker earlier, and in the spring and summer it gets darker later. What should I do when a girl starts ignoring me? She posts a picture of us on her social media. We talk every day, but she ignores me for a couple hours a day. Should I ignore her too? She probably works or attends school. She may not be personally ignoring you, but rather being busy. What was the key invention that allowed the Industrial Revolution to take place? That is a difficult question, but most likely it was the invention of the steam engine. Why should you say thank you to a veteran? Because they have seen things you could not imagine, had friends die in a rain of bullets, or blown out of the sky by enemy aircraft. War isn't noble, it isn't just, it isn't something to romanticize. War is bloody, violent, cruel, and brings out the worst in humanity. Imagine your best friend who you're talking to one moment and the next he's dead as his brains splattered all over the ground behind him from a sniper's bullet. Or seeing men no older than 18 being mowed down by machine gun fire. There are things that one cannot truly comprehend until one has experienced it. How can I keep my twin daughters safe from online predators? I was told that simply monitoring or restricting access at home doesn't necessarily help. They'll always have those classmates with no online boundaries and use their phones instead. You cannot live in fear. The notion that you think everyone online is a predator is in fact inaccurate. Most of the time, they're people of all ages just looking to talk to someone. There are some red flags you should tell your daughters to look out for while on social media, and as soon as one of those red flags is spotted, to tell you it may be a false alarm or it may be an actual child predator. You cannot control what your daughter sees, hears, or reads, as they are not puppets on strings but living people who are making their way in life. Don't come off as accusatory to them, as they will likely use subversive tactics to undermine your attempts to keep them safe. Be concerned and understanding towards them. What is the most dissatisfying climax to any video game? Bendy and the Ink Machine. So much potential in that ending. Wasted. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to end it here for now. I'm going to release a part 2 here soon. Have a wonderful day, Ravenette, and I'll see you in the next video.